This conversation starts calm and then everything shifts. Let's break it down on Choir Media.
Hi, how are you?
I am well.
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I did. What did I get wrong?
Um, I don't think you got anything wrong. I was hoping you could help me out.
If you could do me a favor, do me a favor. The YouTube channel, do you have if you have that on?
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead and close that YouTube window.
Okay, hold on.
All right. Do 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 do. No. Cute name. Yeah, we need cute names. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
1 second.
All right. You got all that noise in the back.
Okay,
What's going on? Yeah, I can.
Okay, so
What do you need
I
my
just
help
want
with?
you to help me out. I feel like I've kind of gotten into the feminist propaganda growing up. Um, so I'm trying to like get all of that out of my head so I can find myself a husband.
Okay. How? All right. Feminist propaganda. So were you raised by mom and dad?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 27.
27. You're in Murderer's Row right now. It's like, ooh, got to get it done. And what part of the country are you in?
Say it again.
What part of the country are you in?
So I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah,
All right, all right. And do you want to have children?
I do.
How
I want a
many?
pretty big family.
Pretty big. How many is pretty big?
Like 4 or 5. I grew
Four.
up with 3 brothers and 1 sister, so
All
I
right.
like big families.
Do you want to be a stay-at-home wife or do you want to actually work?
Yes, so I want to be a stay-at-home wife. I don't have any kids right now or anything. I kind of just been working on my business for the past like 6 years, so I actually have my own business
What kind of
at
business are you
home
in?
now. So
What kind of
I
business?
wouldn't mind staying at home and working from home.
Okay, what kind of business?
I'm a fashion designer.
Huh. There you go. You actually make clothes?
Yes, I
Okay,
make like gowns.
cool. Profitable business. You can get it. All right. So, what led you into this? Okay, who runs the house between mom and dad? Who made the final decision?
My dad. My mom was actually a homemaker,
Then how the
and
hell did you get into feminist propaganda?
so I
I
actually
am
I don't
woman,
know. I
hear me
just
roar. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
okay. So I don't know. I've always just loved designing and being a designer. So like wanting to own my own business and work was something that always drove me. So when
Mm-hmm.
my mom quit her job after having me and just wanted to stay at home, I was always like, Mom, why don't you want to get a job? Like, why don't you want to help me with
Oh,
bills? And she was like,
oh, I get it. You didn't see what mom did is like work. That's what
Yeah, sorry, I
happened.
can barely hear you.
I said you didn't see what mom did was is like work, or like a lot of the women in the baby boom generation didn't see what women in the silent generation did as work. I get it. Mom was a homemaker. You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And entrepreneurialism, especially among black women in Atlanta, does make equate to feminism a lot of times. All right. So you're 27 years old. Are you in a sorority?
Yes, I am.
Which one?
I'm an AKA.
Ski-wee. So you're like
Yes.
prototypical.
Is there
Um,
any way you can turn your volume up? I can
I can.
barely hear you.
Yeah. Let me see. You should be able to hear me, but let me make sure. Yeah, my volume is up on Zoom. Do you have the Zoom on speaker?
Let me see.
Do you have a head like an
There it
earpiece?
goes. Okay.
You
I
got
can
it.
hear you a lot better.
All
Yes.
right. All right. All right. So, mom was a homemaker. So, did you ever ask mom how she got dad?
Um, no, that's a great question. They actually met at church.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was really pretty sheltered actually. I grew up Seventh Day Adventist. They
Okay.
met at church, and then
Okay.
yeah,
Do you go to
went to
church?
I do now. I kind of, when I moved away from home, because I'm actually from Seattle, Washington. So when I moved away from home, I
All right.
kind of stopped
Okay.
going for a while, got caught up in Atlanta, but I
Right.
kind of got back more into myself.
All right. I'm
and
going
go
to
to
say
church.
so your family's
No.
from the West Coast?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to say this just because of the city. Atlanta is known for a very an abnormally high STD rate.
Yes, I've
Just,
heard.
just,
I know.
just as a new resident, I would tell you, just want to make sure you have a clean bill of health.
Yes.
That's a
I've actually been here for 3 years now in Atlanta. But actually, I haven't dated anybody this whole year.
Okay.
So I've just,
Cool.
I'm really,
So how active are you? How active are you socially?
I try to stay socially active, but since I'm a fashion designer, I go to a lot of like fashion shows and things more in that realm. So
Yeah, I
don't
know.
lose
I'm in a
the
similar
type of-
business, and then there's a bunch of
Men.
women and gay guys.
Yes, exactly.
I
So,
know. I feel like I know. So I walk in there after they realize he's not gay. It's like, hey, how you doing? Okay, so you want to stay at home. So you can actually work from home and actually have revenue coming in. But
Right.
let me ask the $64,000 question.
Okay.
I know what you do and I know what you want. What does Blake Henry get from you for being his wife? You got to. So this is what you call your sales pitch.
Okay.
How are you selling yourself to the market?
I'm definitely feminine. I love dressing up every day. Every day I go out, I wear heels. Dresses is a norm for me. Beautiful. I definitely keep up my looks, my mannerisms. Learning more how to cook. I don't really cook that much, but that's something I would definitely do for my husband.
Let me stop right there.
Yes.
there. You gotta cook. If you want a big, let me explain why. Practically. Okay. You want 3 children or so, right?
Yes.
Boys and girls. What's your dream mix of kids?
My mix would be like 2 boys, 2 girls.
2 boys, 2 girls. So you want to have 2 boys and 2 little AKAs in training.
Yes.
You mean to tell me you want somebody to prepare the food that's going to grow them into adulthood?
No, I wouldn't say that.
That's why that's why you have to learn how to cook for your children, and your husband gets it as a benefit. But cooking is one of the ways in which you really can show love to your children and your husband. Plus, you can control all the stuff. You're in good shape. All this processed stuff going on, trust me, keeps the food bill down, everything else. Besides, you know how many women can't cook these days. You don't have to become a chef, but just learn how to do more than shake and bake. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Learn how to do some basic stuff. Right over here at Lenox Mall, I've been to 6 different cooking classes over there. All right, so you're feminine, this, that. If I had to ask what's the longest relationship you've ever been in?
Like a year and a half.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
That was in college. So maybe like 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah. I've definitely been married to my business.
Okay. All right. And so if I asked, and you say your age again, 27? 27.
Yes.
So if I asked your ex, what kind of girlfriend you were, what would he tell me?
I definitely think he would say I was a great girlfriend. Maybe I just am too busy. Like I work a lot.
Okay.
And so sometimes that can be intimidating for men that I used to date.
Okay.
Because, my business was getting
So let
better.
me put a tag right here. Ladies, this is called the exit interview. I suggest a lot of you, if you're cool with your ex, really truly are cool, you're not still hooking up. You got some distance. Go out and ask them what kind of girlfriend you were, and you might be surprised. That's for the audience. But this was years ago in college. So you've been focusing on your business. Okay.
Yeah.
How's that going to?
I fell prey to like the hookup culture.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So.
All right. So, how is that transition Well, let me ask you this: has your business become really successful? Are you doing really well? Or are you still trying to break your way in? Where are you at?
I'm doing pretty well. Corona kind of set me back a
Right.
little bit, but it's definitely to where I want it to be.
Okay. So, meeting a man on the kind of level here in Atlanta, there are a lot of us. There are a lot of these guys. But the question is going to become, how do you get on his program? Because it sounds like you're used to having your own program, not
Yes.
following a man's program.
Right,
Right.
right.
So, are you in my group, the mix?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Hang out in there because what I'm starting to find a lot more younger women asking these questions. But see, that's the questions you're going to have to ask yourself. One, you already have the picture of yourself together, but how are you going to be a helpmeet to the man that would eventually put you in the position to get the things you say you want? And believe it or not, that cooking thing, it's not just about the food. It's what it says. Do you have a history of, let's say your ex-boyfriend, did you wash his clothes? Nope.
A few times.
Nope. Nope. You didn't wash his clothes. You washed his clothes when you were going to do yours. So what history do you have of, I'm going to use it. What history do you have of serving a man?
I used to cook for my ex-boyfriend. I did.
Okay.
A little bit.
But serving, I mean, cooking. See, a lot of times when, especially with black women today, when they cook, it's more about them. So it's like, hey, I'm going to cook for you, and you cook salmon and whatever, and then you'll serve that, and they're like, it's a production. But then if it's just 2-piece Tuesdays, are you still serving your man? See, that's the kind of thing that makes the difference between a woman who's really truly cooperative and submissive and feminine versus it's a little bit more for show. Have you ever hung around a lot of women from other cultures, like say women from Mexico, women from China? And when
Oh
you
yeah,
were
they know how to cook.
But you were and where'd you go to college?
Washington State.
So when you were in Washington, did you ever?
All right. This Ariel call, this one is interesting because she's not combative. She's not delusional. She's actually self-aware. She straight up says, I feel like I got into feminist propaganda and I'm trying to get it out of my head so I can find a husband. That's honesty. She's 27 in Atlanta, fashion designer, also known as entrepreneur, wants 4 or 5 kids, wants to be a stay-at-home wife but maybe work from home. On paper, she sounds like she wants a traditional life, but here's the catch. She's been married to her business for years. Her longest relationship was in college. Since then, work first, men later. And when Kevin asks the real question, what does a man get from you? She starts listing presentation. Feminine, dresses up, wears heels, learning to cook. And that's where it gets deeper. He shifts it from aesthetics to service. Not in a degrading way, but in a practical way. Cooking, laundry, support, cooperation. Not as a performance. Not for Instagram. But as a mindset. Because being a wife isn't something you suddenly switch on after the wedding. It's habits you build before. And the big point he makes? You can't wait until you get a husband to start acting like one. She admits she fell into hookup culture. She admits she's used to running her own program. And that's the tension. Entrepreneurship builds independence and leadership energy. Marriage, especially to a high-earning man, often requires adaptability and support energy. That doesn't make her wrong. It just means there's an adjustment. The part I think hit hardest was when he said, ask your ex what kind of girlfriend you were. That exit interview line, that's accountability. Ariel isn't lost. She's just at a crossroads. She wants traditional outcomes, but she was trained in modern independence. Now she has to decide, is she willing to shift her habits to match the life she says she wants? That's the real question. Let me know what y'all think.